The Public Investment Corporation PIC, which handles about 3.7 trillion rand of assets for government employees, was once again in the spotlight this week. This follows the resignation of two non-executive directors last week after the CEO Patrick Dlamini was placed on precautionary suspension in line with the asset manager's whistleblower policy. Three more board members left the fund manager, followed by the Deputy Finance Minister, David Masondo, on Wednesday. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana called for a general meeting of the Public Investment Corporation for 27 July. On Friday, Godongwana, in a statement, applauded Masondo for stepping down, describing it as good and necessary given the governance challenges at the institution. However, Wits University's governance expert, Professor Alex van der Heever, says the fund manager's governance structure is compromised like night follows day. The PIC is the largest fund manager in the country.
The corporate governance structure is not up to the task. You can't have a politicized supervisory structure for an asset manager like this. And of individuals I've spoken to and dealt with who form part of the PIC's actual executive structure, their political interference is quite clear. And so the issue is you've got to, and here you have to have an insulated organization, because there are many interests that can target it, but the easiest one to get through are the political appointments, because essentially you work through the political party and money changes hands and all sorts of interests are involved. And you can't have a fund this large with such a weak supervisory structure.
Finance Minister Godongwana also noted the resignation of the 5 board members following his request that all members of the board step down or make representations to him as the sole shareholder of the PIC as to why they should not be removed. Meanwhile, the South African Federation of Trade Unions, SAFTU, says it views the developments at the fund manager with great concern. However, it will not rush to make judgment.
The current crisis reinforces the urgent need to strengthen governance within institutions entrusted with managing public wealth. Whether or not criminal corruption is ultimately established, governance failures, undisclosed conflicts of interest, weak oversight, and political interference can inflict enormous financial damage and erode public confidence in institutions responsible for safeguarding workers' pensions.
Some say it is not all doom and gloom at the PIC, as it seems to have tightened up its approval processes for investing, especially in unlisted businesses, given that it's not a transparent space, as was found in the Impati Commission, a commission that looked into governance issues at the PIC.
I think that the commissions of inquiries that have happened in the past were good, because a lot of rules, that were flouted in the past have been brought to the foray, and things are looking a little bit more like the PIC is moving in the right direction. But as I've said, there's legacy issues, there's legacy transactions that still need to be cleaned up. And I believe that in time, as we continue to observe and put pressure on the PIC to do the right things, I do believe that they might ultimately end up getting things right.
COSATU reiterates the fact that the asset manager has improved following the recommendations of the Mpati Commission in 2020. However, it says that key officials at the PIC should undergo lifestyle audits.
The previous PIC Act, which we as COSATU forced its amendment by Parliament in 2019, that previous PIC Act gave a Minister for Finance a blank check. That no longer exists. The previous PIC Act allowed the minister to decide whomever he wanted to appoint to the board. That no longer exists. They must meet certain skills. There's also now worker representation on the PIC chosen by workers to ensure that workers' monies are safe. There's also a very clear investment mandate as well, so that if an investment, we saw some of the investments previously were just beyond dodgy. You could see no economic logic to it. It was just naked looting. There's now a clear investment guideline. You must support local jobs, you must support economic growth, sustainable development, return on investments, etc.
Meanwhile, Masondo in a statement said he resigned from the asset manager due to the interest of the country. This while government employees wait with abated eyes for the new board member appointments by the finance minister. Nothando Magudulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.